Hi, everyone, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly horoscope. My name is Terence Guardino. Well, Venus, the planet of love, peace, creativity, is slowing down because it's going to go retrograde on the 25th, on Saturday, as it does about every year and a half. And it will remain retrograde until September the 6th. This is always a cycle when relationships are tested. The weak ones will show their cracks. The strong ones will get stronger, but will be tested. All relationships will become more complicated. But as we start this week, you're able to utilize your common sense, be more grounded, and maybe really make some better assessments of your personal relationships, working relationships. Because as we start off the week on the 20th, on Monday, from the end of Monday into the first part of Tuesday, depending on where you're listening in the world, the Sun in Cancer is going to be in the best angle to Saturn. Now, this will happen like twice a year. Sun to Saturn is a solid day of stability, of being great for business, common sense. This would be an excellent time to start a job, start a new project. The Sun Saturn, you're just being so much more realistic and practical. By Wednesday, discriminating Mercury, the planet that is great for business negotiations, will also be in the best angle to Saturn. And so from Monday to Tuesday, maybe by Wednesday is when you are signing the deal, you're signing the contract, you're accepting the offer. So very favorable for business transactions. On Thursday, now the Mercury is aligning with the Sun exactly. And so that's going to be a day when there's going to be a lot of ideas, a lot of communications. You'll be thinking a great deal, and you might be thinking about what relationships bring you value, that are supportive, and what relationships you may have to reconsider, or perhaps you might come to the realization that you need to really work on healing or reconciling any challenges, grievances in a relationship. So as that Venus slows down and stops, it becomes very strong on Saturday. But you could be feeling it a couple of days prior and certainly several days afterwards, where depending on how Venus is going to be at 0 degrees of Virgo, how that degree influences your individual horoscope will tell a lot about, is a relationship ending? Or you're realizing you need to get to work and to strengthen a relationship? But I think this weekend, particularly maybe Friday, certainly Saturday and Sunday, as the Venus is turning retrograde and really bringing relationship matters to really to the surface to be examined and to be tested, impatient, aggressive Mars will be in a really difficult angle with rebellious Uranus. Now, this is suggesting to me that not for everybody, it all depends on your individual horoscope and also if you have your exact time of birth, because that rising sign is so important to determine events. But for a lot of people, Mars Uranus is triggering a lot of repressed anger, a lot of just sudden actions. It's like just wanting to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It can really, if so, there is any kind of grievances and built up resentments that's been developing, that Mars-Uranus could really release a lot of stress, a lot of anger. At the same time, Venus is going retrograde. So I do think that if you're fearing a relationship, that it's hanging on by a thread and you're so worried that it could break up, this weekend is going to really test it. If you really want to hold on to it, with the Mars-Uranus, you don't want to get caught up in an argument. You don't want to be impulsive and rash. You may, if you're really worried about a relationship, maybe you want to just lay low, do a lot of reflecting and soul searching, but not engaging too much with the partner because the energy is so raw and volatile. But again, the good relationships, your strong relationships in love and in business will only get better because of whatever you are having to deal with. Now, before I sign off, Astrology Answers offers for a nominal fee to answer one question by one of their staff astrologers. But I'm now on board and you can request me and I will personally answer any of your questions. But remember, for the best results, you need to provide your approximate or your exact time of birth. Because I have been receiving requests, but nobody, so many people do not put in the time of birth, and that makes being able to give a specific prediction that much more difficult. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week for my next segment. Until then, I hope you have a great week, and be careful of your important relationships and don't say anything you might regret.